everybody. We are here for scans. My scan girlies rise up in the chat. Let us know if our audio is good. Lynn is obviously joining me for the reading, and then people are joining after the reading.
Yeah. Basically, I'm joining you for the reading because I need the support. I have a feeling that I won't understand a word of this chapter from what's being said.
Okay.
I mean, people who are like, in depth into the lore and everything are all confused. I haven't seen the spoiler chat pop off this much for a long time. It's like, there's a lot going on, and I'm like, I'm not gonna understand this at all. So
Okay. Cool. So that's good to know. Hello, Pepperjack. I thought I banned you. Didn't I tell the mods to ban Pepperjack?
Oh no, you can't ban Pepperjack.
I can.
No.
Anyway.
So yeah, anyway, to carry on what we're saying, yeah, I'm here for the read, and then there is 5 people that have signed up to join you, so I'll have to go off and they can join you to discuss.
Okay, sounds good. So yes, as y'all can tell, we have been warned that this is a confusing chapter. So we know that, but also we are easily confused in general. So
yes.
after we do our chapter reading, so we'll have some lovely others pop on and explain everything to us. I just want to let everyone know that I did shovel tiki masala in my face before this, and it was wonderful. I just wanted you guys to know.
Oh, good.
Anytime I get to have that meal, I celebrate. Chapter 1138, Harley. Okay, so yes, confirmation that this was indeed his hideout, which was quite clear, I think. Looks like he has a bunch of minions and servants, so that's super fun.
Is it?
I don't know.
We both have the same feelings of this cover story. So.
Oh, yeah. The base belongs to Who's Who. What a reveal.
Who cares?
Har. The aftermath of Loki's defiance. Okay, so he's been beaten up by someone much smaller than him. You're the spitting image of red-haired Shanks. Do you really think I'd just write that off as coincidence? Well, none of us are.
No.
Mind your own business. That matter has nothing to do with you. You're wrong. But a great pirate and a celestial dragon, they're polar opposites. You can't blame me for being curious.
True. Everybody's curious, for God's sake.
Do you think you're special, Loki? Anyone would find it strange that you two share the same face. The pirate you're referring to is my younger twin! Younger twin? That's a weird...
Well, he's just flexing, isn't he? He's just like, I was born first. I'm
I did the birth canal first. It's like, okay, cool flex, bro. He went astray. Okay, excuse me. When I said that Shanks defected, I got 15 million comments telling me that no, in fact, Shanks was stolen away as a baby and found by Roger, according to that one movie, Film Red. So what do you mean he went astray?
I mean, that could still, both could still be true.
In Japan, they call people twins if they're born in the same year?
What? Well, I mean, we're not talking about that anyway, are we? Because they have the same face, so
right.
they are twins in the way that we think of twins.
To be fair, though, I wouldn't put it past Oda to just say that they're siblings, because he draws all the women the same. So for him to be like, "You're siblings, so you look the same," that is Oda logic.
I can see something in that, yeah, but he doesn't. He doesn't draw the men the same, though, does he? This is purposeful. This is identical twins.
I mean, oh, Irish twins. That's true. That is a phrase. I haven't heard that in so long. I would think winding up in the chest and getting raised by pirates is still going astray. I guess so.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah.
That is the way. That is the way of the sibling to be like blaming everything on you, whether it's your fault or not. All right. Anyway, he went astray. At one point, he did return, to the Holy Land, but it seemed he grew too attached to the filthy world of the surface. Okay, so Shanks knows about his heritage. That's good to know. He returned. I see. It's funny how I ended up hating both of you brothers, and I thought my grudge couldn't get any worse. What a family.
Bless you.
Thank you, you bastards. When I get out of these chains, you know what I'll do, right? I'll make it my mission to make sure my buddies are avenged. Was that supposed to be a threat? Captain, you don't have to, I know. He isn't worth getting my hands dirty over. Okay. My goodness.
He definitely thinks highly of himself.
Oh, well, he's a celestial dragon. Yeah. So, Isn't that right, Cerberus? So he just continues harming people or animals that Loki loves. Certainly doesn't like it. Oof. Nice. That's a great panel. Wow. What the hell is that? It's my biting blade. Okay. Because it, like, he can just get it near you and then it essentially just, like, tears through you or, like, it looks like it's...
I can only assume because he didn't really seem to do anything apart from just hold it out, did he?
Yeah, just put it near the doggo and then he immediately started losing his mind.
Yeah.
And it looks like he put it near his leg, and then in the next panel, it's coming out of Doggo's mouth, so it can like appear inside of you, maybe. Yeah. See, it's coming out of both their mouths now.
Yeah.
What's with this creepy thing, man? What a way to be! Oh, that's horrible. It's got flames all around it. Aw, poor pup. Captain, let's clean up here and move on. Scramble. Okay. Ruff! Okay. Yeah, I don't really know what's happening in that panel.
No.
Heal. Oh, look at them flying away! Feel free to hunt me down anytime. I'll face you then, assuming you survive this. Okay, killer ability. I'm telling you, her ability is so neat.
It's very good. Very good.
It's so versatile, and I love that the arrow directs it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, no! You've got to be kidding me. And then it forces the doggo. If that thing gets me. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I've just seen what's happening.
Yeah, those celestial bastards. Damn it all. Oh, no, and it's actually working. They actually did cut him. Oh, my goodness.
That looks very painful. And in the real world, deathly.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Total subjugation isn't feasible now. Let's start by taking their children hostage.
Oh, great.
We'll need an extra person. Understood. Who should I call? Wow! Oh my goodness! Okay, that's a scene break, so we should talk. Holy cow! Right?
Yes, I've just seen I've just seen that comment, yeah, and I saw that in the spoiler earlier on today, talking about Three Swords and Zorro, and now that makes sense completely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got ZKC. Are we talking about Zoro kills Cerberus? Or are we saying are you saying ZKG? Zoro kills Gunko? Probably the C. ZKC, is that our new agenda? Anyway, fantastic sequence. Could not ZKS. Is Cerberus spelled with an S? CBD Zoro beats.
I have.
Oh, Shamrock. Oh, right.
Oh,
Shamrock's ability. I know what you're talking about. Swordsburst. ZKS. Shamrock. I got you. Zoro kills Shamrock. I could see that. I could definitely see that. Okay, sorry. Anyway, amazing sequence. Wow. The Cerberus is Shamrock's sword. Oh, you know what? I didn't pick that up. I thought the Cerberus was already in the underworld as one of the beasts of the underworld. But I guess that makes sense. It did look like, okay, I was confused about the sequence because when he pulled out his sword, the Cerberus was like in a weird shape, and then you can kind of see it unfolding. But I didn't understand what that meant. And then I thought he had cut the Cerberus. But I guess the Cerberus is like trapped inside the sword. And so when he extends the sword, the Cerberus comes out of it and then becomes the sword. Yes. Okay. Very cool weapon indeed. Wow. All right, I'm glad you pointed that out because I did not pick up the fact that the Cerberus is essentially is it trapped in the sword? Because the Cerberus looks tortured. Like it looks agonized.
It's got to be, hasn't it? I mean, I'm still trying to get my head around what's just been said there because, yeah, I wasn't understanding it either. Not surprisingly. But yeah, the doggo doesn't look happy.
Yeah, it looks in total agony. It doesn't have a fruit tag. Yeah, that is weird. I don't know. I'm getting the vibe that is trapped in the sword.
I'm a little bit confused, to tell the truth, because exactly what you've just said. I thought that like when things are introduced, it is tagged, and yeah, never mind. I have to say that panel where Loki is getting stabbed is a fabulous panel. It's very disgusting.
It's very disgusting. Yeah, it's a horrifying movie.
It's very visceral. That's the word I was trying to look for.
Very visceral. It definitely is, but it's also like the kind of thing that it fits for a celestial dragon to have this ability. You know? Horrible, man. Cerberus has dark clouds like the elders too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I see it. I was imagining the dark clouds were because the sword was like burning it up, but now that I know that the sword is essentially in the sword or combined with the sword somehow.
I had not noticed that.
Because look, the clouds are around the sword more so than the Cerberus. Interesting. Okay, we can move on. It's just a really interesting sequence. Really, Oda has done a great job at making these two so powerful.
Yeah.
Like, their presence is more threatening than any villain lately has been.
Yeah, completely.
Man. Operate a different power system. Yeah, I get that impression as well. Okay. Quest Castle. Oh. West. So it's west. I forgot. Scans do it differently.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, it was red-haired. Liar! Shanks would, anytime I read liar in all caps like that, I think of the Princess Bride. Do you remember that old lady? Where she's like, liar, liar. And then her
No.
husband, the
I don't
magic
remember.
cat.
I mean, I've seen it, but I was never a huge fan of
Oh,
it.
I'm a fangirl. It's
I'm not.
and then her husband's like, get away from me, you witch. She goes, I'm not a witch, I'm your wife. And after what you just said, I don't know if I want to be that anymore. I love it. Anyway. Liar. Yeah, I love Max too. It's just, oh, man. All right. Shanks would never attack for no reason. It's the truth. I saw him with my own eyes. Red hair. Okay, so this is, yeah, these are the guards that got knocked out. That's what I figured this would be. Red hair has visited Elbath many times. I recognize him. Okay, so yes, he has, but he had a scar. Of course, you were attacked really quickly, so I guess I can't blame you. His hair was prettier though. Like I think Shanks usually has like stink lines wafting off of him, and this guy smells like freshly applied shampoo. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, not surprising. Celestial dragons, they live in luxury, and
Yes.
I'm sure they have plenty of bubble baths.
Yes.
Whereas Shanks is on a ship with stinky pirates, and
yes, Shamrock wears perfume. You cannot convince me otherwise. I mean, he braids his own hair. I'm just saying. Shanks hasn't bathed in 3 months. So I feel like that's a dead giveaway.
I don't think these lot would even know it.
Yeah, they're warriors. They're not going to be like, oh, you smell great, Shanks. Ow, I'm being harmed. Listen, I've been hanging out with Jay. So, like, we live in the agenda now. I'm sorry. I've been corrupted. But I know Shanks. He's a super cool guy. Maybe it was just someone who looked like him. Well, yes, Luffy, in fact.
Yes, you are correct.
It was shocking. We were wondering what he was doing in the castle. He just left Elbath recently, right? Wouldn't it be weird for him to come right back just to skulk around? I mean, maybe, but I feel like that would also be a really good cover up if you're like, hey guys, nice to see you. Okay, bye, I'm leaving. I'm super leaving. And then you go around the back way and then you're like sneaking around the super secret castle. I feel like that's not so absurd. Even if you're telling the truth, there's no way it could be Shanks! Shanks is always calm and laid back, he says while he's screaming. Him doing something like this just doesn't add up. I mean, he's right, though.
He is, bless him.
Look at Nami. You really have faith in him, huh? Oh, it's just such a sweet panel.
Oh my god, I'm just laughing at the next panel and like, I do bet you, Nami.
Yeah, betcha, Nami! It'd tick you off just as much as someone badmouth Telmare. It's Belmare. She should have hit him for that. Of all the things she hits him for. So it was a lookalike? That or a brother, maybe. I love that they're just like guessing it on the nose. Shanks' brother? Well, if he has one, he'd probably be a nice guy too.
Oh, bless Luffy. When he's going to come across him, he's going to be so shocked, isn't he? Because he's just going to think he's his friend.
Well, he's going to be pretty mad to find out that this guy is wearing Shanks's face, but not like Shanks. We've got our silhouette guy. But honestly, he never talked about his family. I heard that he was raised on a pirate ship from when he was little. Okay, silhouette guy is approaching the castle. I figure Roger and Rayleigh were his real family. The whole crew, except for Buggy. All right, chill. Dolly G. Cool. So we see the silhouette approaching, and then we cut to a different scene. That was so
well, of course.
Frankie's group, the Treasure Tree Adam. Unbelievable. Adam would... Hold on. I need to check the chat. I haven't checked it in a second. I love that Luffy's insistence convinces the giants to think differently. That's so true. You wouldn't think that if he's like stomping his feet and going, "It might be a brother," that people would be like, "Oh yeah, logic." What do you mean wearing Shanks' face? That is going to be Luffy's Logic. He's going to be like, how dare you look like Shanks and act like that?
I agree.
Thank you. I may not think it, but I bet Shanks does consider Buggy family. I bet he does. I bet he does.
Yeah. You can still have family and not get on with them.
Silhouette guy plus Roger Pirate's conversations implying he's a Roger Pirate. Hey, oh! All right. Frankie's group, the Treasure Tree Adam. Unbelievable. Adam Wood as far as the eye can see. And I thought it was meant to be rare. Well, it's rarely on the black market. They're not trying to harm the tree by constantly scavenging it. Wow, I had no idea it was so valuable overseas. What? Oh, that's someone else saying that?
Yeah.
Okay. Like, Frankie knows that.
It's what's the face?
It's Gerd, I think is her name. No, that's not right. Yeah, I think that's right. Anyway, the one that's basically Roto. Maybe I should start selling some on the side. Weren't you sent here to keep an eye on me? Saul seemed pretty strict about it. He was all like, it's a sacred tree, bucko. Don't go cutting it down now, you hear? and then she's like, maybe I'll sell it. You sound just like him. Still, I guess stealing from under the nose of giants is a tall order. Boo! Maybe that explains the markup. What's that? It's a mural. Oh, okay. So we're about to see the big lore thing, right?
I'm assuming so because it's a
really?
big poem and a mural from what I hear.
I think she's holding him up like a plushier action figure. Gerd is the one who's basically Roto. Okay. It's graffiti from eons ago. Some kids probably etched right into the bark and it got fossilized. It's now designated as a cultural heritage site thanks to its enormous historical value. Is a punk doodle that big a deal? Oh, is a punk's doodle that big of a deal? It's said to date back somewhere between 900 and 800 years ago.
That magical number.
Oh, it comes around. If that's true, then that would place it right in the middle of the void century. Oh, look at Frankie. What? We gotta show Robin. She'll be thrilled. I love that he thought about Robin first.
Yeah.
Hey, ain't this drawing kind of odd for old Elbaf? Not all the figures look like giants.
Bless you again.
Okay, we have a royalty of sorts. That looks like the Iron Giant, maybe? And some sort of animal?
Looks to no, but the thing is, it looks to be holding a weapon or holding a sword or something. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it does. You're right. Quite as far as we know, there were definitely times where the races of the world clashed. Okay. Oh, so it could be like Zoe, like those people. What are they called? Minks?
Maybe.
But this kind of cooperation is unheard of. Interesting. That's why I think it was probably just some kid's dream.
Okay.
Okay. Walrus School. Wah! Kya! Class is in session, everyone. Listen up. Hold on, let me check the chat. Minks. Yeah. Minks. That's what I'm saying.
What did you say?
What did I say?
Yeah.
I don't remember what I said.
I knew what you meant.
So creatures. Minks. I'm sure I said minks. That has to be what
That's what I thought. By the way.
I thought it was an ancient giant at first because of the horns. Oh, yeah. Well, right. That makes sense. Well, it might be. Class is in session, everyone. Listen up. Owl Library. So this is the Harley. Yep. Oh, right, the Harley. Right. Whoa, it's so big and old. Giant dust. Oh, cute. This pretty tome here preserved many of the rich myths and legends of Elbath. Although it spawned countless
Interpretation.
Thank you. Interpretations too. That's why all the warriors of Elbath believe in very different versions of the sun god. Ain't that the funniest thing you ever heard? May I read it? Of course, dear Shishi. Okay, so but how's she able to read it? The narrative split into 3 distinct sections. It's said that the third world refers to the present day, meaning it's a type of prophecy. Okay. Mind you, legends of Nika have spread silently all over the world. The only thing they all have in common is that he appears with a booming laugh to this beat. Oh, and then it's the Nika dance! I'll read aloud then. The first world, the earth burned in endless flame, and the hearts of men. Okay. Ooh! Ah! Okay, so this is the graffiti that, oh my goodness, that Frankie's looking at. Okay, so we have a Momo dragon and a Seraphim dragon, maybe. There's Luffy. There's Gear 5th, Joy Boy, something.
Yeah.
We have royalty here on some sort of ship. People are giving.
Oh, the thing that we saw earlier on, which you thought was royalty, has actually got a fishtail.
Oh, there it is. Okay, yes, I see it. So, okay, so that's the fishman.
Yeah.
Okay, and we have some giants here.
There's a huge amount to look at, actually.
It looks like Emu is holding the sun, like guarding it, and everyone's fighting against, or it might not be Emu, but some sort of evil force is holding the sun, and everyone is fighting it, probably to get the sun back. And that is the Iron Giant fighting alongside Joy Boy or Nika. This looks like the Seraphim because there's a flame. Everyone is passing light of some sort to this king on a boat. Oh, there's the Noah underneath the king and a bunch of animals. And of course, a city with a lot of gears that is people working in the underbelly of the city. The city is producing the source, it seems, that's being passed to the king. The dragons are fighting. This is awesome. Oh man, Oda's doing something with this.
Yeah, obviously, but I'm just like, what?
Oh, really? You're not into this?
No. As in, I don't know what the fuck this means. That is not. No, I think it's cool, but I just don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know where it's going. I don't understand.
Oh, there's Laboon.
Where? I saw that comment earlier, and I can't. Where is Laboon? Why?
I'm circling it. If you look at the screen where I have it pulled up, I'm circling it with my mouse.
Hang on. No, I can't see your circle.
It's in the upper area to the left a little bit.
What?
Right above the Iron Giant and Luffy.
That's Laboon?
Well, it's a whale. We assume.
How is that Laboon? How do we know that's Laboon?
It's not. It's just like a reference to the whale.
Oh, piss off. You were all getting me excited. I don't know if that's Laboon or not.
Okay. Well, I think that this seems to be I'm gonna guess that this might
Do
be.
you know? You do realize that you haven't actually read all the stuff yet. You
I am theorizing,
Right.
ma'am.
But it just kind of felt like you were sitting back and we're about to start discussing, and I thought she hasn't forgotten, has she, that she's actually got a bit to read yet.
I did forget. I think that this might be the war of the second end of the world, or maybe the first end of the world. But this looks like the war that either Joy Boy fought, or maybe even a war before Joy Boy. But this is okay. You know what? Erase all that. This is the Void Century, like the war that happened before the Void Century that we've learned about. That was everybody against. No, I'm talking. No, I'm not going to read it. I'm going to theorize, and then I'll read it, and then I'll re-theorize.
Okay.
Because we've got the Mer people, we've got the Minks, we've got the Iron Giant.
Chat, I tried. I'm sorry, chat. I tried.
I'm not interested in your nonsense. I'm theorizing over here. We've got the Noah. So this is, and it's a fight over the sun, which I just think is so cool. Fine, I'll read it. The first world. The earth burned in endless flame, and in the hearts of men burned with desire. Okay. From whispered prayers, the sun god rose, beckoned by the enslaved who reached for the forbidden star. Okay. The god of the land was enraged. With a serpent of fire, they cast the world into ruin. Darkness fell. Death reigned. They would not meet again. The second world. A breath stirred in the abyss. The god of the forest wove their magic. The god of the nurturing its devils. While the sun lit the embers of war, those of the half-crescent moon. Half-crescent moon. Scabbards. Full moons dreamed. Yet the ones who slew the sun defied themselves, evoking the wrath of the sea god. Okay. We know that okay. Devil fruits, Sechi against the sea. They would not meet again. The third world. Chaos reigns. The world drifts in a void, yet time does not erase the memory of the promised day. Its shadow looms as the voice of the full moon echoes through the ages.
Half moon.
Does it say half? Whoopsie. And once more, the sun god shall rise, laughing, dancing, guiding the world to its final act. The world is reborn. A new dawn.
The sun is reborn.
Dagon! The sun is reborn. A new dawn will break. Surely this time they will meet. Oh! It's so cool! I love it! It's so cool! What does Cheetah say? Those of the half moon Kozuki? Yeah! Right! Exactly!
I have no fucking idea.
This is making me think Emu is god of the forest, not god of the sea, like many have theorized. Interesting. Half moon is the deep. Yeah, maybe. I also feel like we could probably wrangle Blackbeard into theorizing about this. Right side looks like a conflict, while the left side looks like the climax. Lunarian, Kazuki, Lunarians, Meeks, all related to the moon. Lots to discuss. Yeah. I love it. I mean, like, I don't understand it, obviously, and we're not supposed to yet. Like, Oda is just setting this up, but the mural is awesome.
The mural is fabulous to look at, most definitely. I don't understand anything about it.
I think it's so fun. Like, you can see the story happening there. And then the poem, I feel like there's so much there. I don't know. I'm so into it.
At the moment, I'm just confused. I'm just like, what on earth am I supposed to make of this? But, you know, I trust in it that I will get told answers eventually.
Yeah. Oh, how fun. Okay. Those that are meant to join are welcome to start adding themselves.
Hang on, I need to
You need to DM them.
I need to message them, and I need to bugger off as well.
Best post time skip chapter. Frosty, you are so unpredictable. The things you get mad about and the things that excite you. I'm so interested to see the official translation too, because I'm so curious to see how they're going to handle this thing for sure, for sure. Oh my goodness.
Who else is it? Oh, Charset. That's who else I'm supposed to be messaging.
Mort, your camera's not connected.
Right, okay.
Lynn, why did you let Mort join?
Well, I thought we haven't officially banned him, so.
Oh, really? Have we not gotten around to that? That's so weird.
No, so I have to like play fair, don't I?
So. Okay, we'll work on that.
Yeah. Okay,
Thanks for joining me for the reading.
That's okay. I'm very, very confused, but I shall listen to what everybody has to say when they join you, and I'll probably be even more confused.
Can't wait.
Yeah. See you later.
Bye. My people are here. All my mods and Mort are here.
I am hurt. You are so loud. It is 8:30 at night. Your children are dead asleep. Your husband is crying in his room, so upset that he just can't sleep. He's been up for the past like 40 years, dude.
You don't know horrible. My life.
You listen. You're crazy.
Okay. Kratos, tell me something.
Hi.
Hi.
What am I telling you?
I don't know. I just figured you would have some words for this. You're like my analytical mind.
There's totally.
We're going to go crazy with this.
Yeah, there's totally a lot like that we can. I mean, just a couple of the quick bits. Hi, Charles. Just a couple of the quick bits that kind of the community has collectively kind of, sort of, maybe almost figured out. Like early in Little Garden, Dorian Bragi talk about like the world serpent Jormungandr, like, you know, which is like related to a myth about circling the earth. So people are thinking that the god of the earth with the serpent of fire is the creation of the Red Line. I
think so too.
Yeah. You know, clearly the people killing the sun god and deifying themselves, that's just the celestial dragons killing Joy Boy and then turning themselves into gods. You know, I agree with your take that the whole mural overall is just a depiction of the Void Century War, because on the right we have like we know the ancient civilization was advanced. They would probably have like skyscrapers, smokestacks and stuff. We know they had the eternal flame, which is what the Lunarians used, as well as what like Emu was trying to replicate, you know. And so, you know, and those three like demonic looking things kind of look similar to like the Gorosei's like demonic forms or whatever. The god of the forest nurturing the devils could be the creation of the devil fruits at the beginning of the second world, which could be tied to like the Adam and Eve trees, like the tree in the middle, and like, you know, with like the whole Eve myth, you know, Eve ate the forbidden fruit, you know, the Eve tree creating the devil fruits. And yeah, and the other thing that I think the they shall never meet again, they shall never meet again, they surely will meet again, I think could be referring to like how if the four seas were split up by the Red Line at the beginning, then they will never meet again, right? Because they're separated. But if the Red Line is destroyed at the end of the third world, then the seas are going to meet again and become the all blue. So there's a ton there.
Thing. It's like who the hell is they? You know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this is. I like this chapter. It's funny. It's got like Lord of the Rings shit going on. Like
also, last thing, and then I'll let everybody go forever. I went back and read through all of the NL cover story for when he goes to the moon, and there's a ton of the imagery from what NL sees on the moon it's like the exact same art style.
Yes,
it's
I noticed that too.
Yeah, and so it definitely seems like at some point, you know, whether it's like the people from the first world, like going to the moon or coming back. Because if the red line was created at that time and the Lunarians were around in the first world, then it makes sense that they would be the ones to then go on top of the red line,
Yes.
you know, and then, you know, create the eternal flame that then, like, you know, the getting the power of that is what started the conflict for, you know, the second world and all. Yeah, it's I literally like cried at work today, like thinking of how beautiful this is. Like, just
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like a religious experience, this chapter.
One
And
Piece
Yeah, I
rocks,
mean-
man.
That's definitely what the chapter is depicting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. I wonder if the Lunarians, when they were kicked out of where they resided on Earth, if they then went to the moon and created their murals there.
Yeah,
Well, I have a
Go for it.
theory. I think that this is the 3 different worlds that they're talking about. The first world, I think the Lunarians were the original like colonizers, because you can see everyone joining together to fight people with the giant wings who controlled the power of the eternal flame. And we know that they apparently went to the moon and then went to the Earth in search of resources. So I think that the story of One Piece kind of has this theme of, because, you know, colonization is a reoccurring theme that happens a lot.
Certainly.
I think the Lunarians were the initial colonizers who became gods of the world, overtook it from the humans, and then all the other races, and then they all joined together to beat them back, to embrace this idea of like freedom and, you know, the sun god, only for Emu to become the false sun, just betray Joy Boy, and then just replace and become new gods that just take their role without actually offering the freedom, which is why you have the second world, which is following the creation of the red line. And also some people think it also means the calm belt, with some of the lines about there's quiet in the breath and all of that in the void.
Mm.
And then I think this leads to some interesting parallels too, with how Blackbeard, who's clearly knows some stuff about the true history, I think he's trying to become the next cycle of the next Emu, and the person who embodies parts of freedom in the sun, but doesn't want to be the sun. They want to be the darkness that swallows the world and don't want the dawn to come.
Ooh.
So I completely agree. The one thing I'm going to push you back on is I think the Lunarians themselves are different from whatever angels you're talking about. Because if you look by the arc on the right hand side, you see that little angel right there?
I do.
Yeah, that's a white angel, you know,
Right.
holy, yada, yada, yada. If you look on the left-hand side, on the very top, you see the angel flying there. That's a black angel with a little fire on his head. That
Right.
represents Lunarians.
Uh-huh.
That angel over there could represent something else. You know
Like
what
the
I mean?
Skypian,
Yeah.
the Skypian. What were they called?
Maybe. Oh,
Shandora.
yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah,
Because
I forgot about Skypea.
everyone does.
Yeah.
it's interesting that when Enel has his cover story, it specifies that the ones that colonized the world from the moon were the Birkins, the
Yeah.
group
Yeah.
that he eradicated, which gives some interesting ideas to how like Enel might have heard these myths of the colonizing history of them
Yeah.
and wanted to like follow in the steps of like what he probably considered his true ancestors in his own way, just continued to colonize in history by destroying the people that had settled on just existing in the world and want to go back to the moon and do that. There's lots of cool little things, and obviously lots of Skypiea parallels.
Yeah. If possible, and I don't mean to overtake it, do you mind if I just run through the entire script, little script they do, and like we can all give our interpretations of each little panel?
Go for it.
That's what I did. Go for it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh, yeah. The first world, there was a fire upon the earth. Humanity succumbed to desire and toughed the forbidden sun. That is the mother flame, 100% mother flame. The slaves made a wish, and the god of the sun appeared, and the god of the earth came in rage. But the god of the earth came in rage. So we know about that because we know the Doflamingo family, before the world government existed, enslaved the Tontadas. So like before the Void Century. So the first world was way before like Void Century, and then the first Nika, before Joy Boy, the first Nika came around and said, "Hey, I'm Nika. I'll free the slaves." And alongside the Serpent of Hell enveloped the world in death and darkness. They could never meet again. I don't know what that means. Maybe the Serpent of Hell may. Okay, crapshoot theory. Serpent of Hell is the red line.
Yep.
Crapshoot theory.
That's what I think.
Yeah. Envelop the world darkness, and they can never meet again. The second world, and this is what the second world represents. The mural. I'm going to say the first. It represents like the bits of freedom that is the in between. You know, the mural is not the first world. The first world is a different story altogether. There was a breath upon the emptiness. The god of the forest sent forth demons. The sun merely spread the embers of war. That's the big thing. Like, that's like we're all in the idea of like Emu betraying everybody, but that line makes me a little suspicious of that because apparently it's just the god of the forest sent demons to hang out. You know, so it could have just been like some wacky something or other. The people of the half moon, Kozuki, and the people of the moon dreamed of humanity killed the sun and ascended to divinity. So those are the celestial dragons, you know, being that. But a lot of the interpretation of this, I think, is off. I don't understand it. The god of the sea became enraged. I think that the devil fruits originally were not like angry with the water, you know? I think because of the betrayal, the devil fruits became sunken in. So that could be a big thing. And then the third world, that's present day, that's our Luffy. There was a void upon the chaos, which is the hell that's happening now. Unbridden saddles, remember the day of the promise, they hear in the voice of the fragmented moon. So the fragmented moon might be just the D, I feel like. The god of the sun dances and laughs, Luffy being stupid, guiding the world to its end. The summer will turn, new dawn will come, they will surely meet again. Again, we know that's happening. You know, that's our story, you know. I think at the end of One Piece there will be a fourth world. Kind of again, like Lord of the Rings. You know, like what is it? First stage? I forget. I haven't read Lord of the Rings in like 40 years. What is it like? First age, second age, third age, or something like that?
I'm not the one. I don't retain things.
I thought you read books.
Yeah, and I'm currently rereading The Lord of the Rings, but it's not going to be me. But yes, I agree with a lot of the interpretations that you gave there. Does anyone have any different interpretations than Mort said?
So for me, I go a little bit further back into the. Shane, I think you need to mute. We are echoing.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I forgot you guys lived with each other. That's crazy.
Yeah, they're just married.
So, yeah, we're just like right here. That happens all the time.
Throw something at it.
So for me, I think the first world, it's a little like I've been focusing much more on that because I have no idea on the Void Century. I'm just letting that mystery come to me.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the first world feels more like Oda making commentary on real life, the way that he has done previously in many other arcs. So for me, the first world and even the like the stanzas and even the symbolism on the right side of the image just feels very much like this is an advanced civilization with technology and everything. The slaves could be actual literal slaves, or it could just be people who are just enslaved to the work, to the society, to that kind of thing, the way that we can see it in real life kind of thing. I just think that it's a very advanced society, and I think that just the god of the land was enraged. I don't think that it's an actual literal god. I actually think is that the earth itself was paying the consequences of that destruction because of factories, because of pollution, because of that. I do think that that's Oda being like just playing a lot with symbolism in the way that we do it a lot. This is poetry that was written and like 900 years ago, and that probably is based on stories that were already being passed down to them through hundreds of years.
Mm.
So I think that there is a lot of symbolism being hidden there, specifically about the first world. So, so that's why I'm thinking, like, obviously there is a magical element here because this is the One Piece world, but I do think that at least the first world is a little bit more like, oh, the earth was under a lot of destruction and chaos, and the earth was literally burning because of the use of like the mother flame, which honestly, like, it's a symbolism for nuclear
Yeah,
science
yeah,
as well. So I think that's what it is, and I do think that that ends with the serpent of fire, which to me does mean the red line, meaning that the first world ends with the world splitting apart completely
Right.
and the red line being created. And whether that is because somebody actually used a weapon, like an ancient weapon, to create the red line, or whether that was like a conclusion after years of warfare that were
Mm.
led by a revolutionary leader that could have been Nika. And then again, if we're talking about about nuclear and everything, and the magic element that we already have in One Piece, anyways, like there's just so much more that could have happened. But I just think that that's just I've just been focusing a lot more on that because for some reason that felt a little bit more easier to to understand to me
Yeah, yeah.
than the Void Century. That
Yeah.
one I'm just
My-
letting it.
my I like what you're saying. I do want to. The thing is, like, maybe what would those gods be? I mean, yeah, it's the Earth. It could be literally the Earth, but like we see this giant ass serpent over here and this giant ass dragon over here. Like, what is that? What is that? We've never seen any. Well, we've kind of
Those
seen
to me
stuff like.
actually are more closer to the yokai actually
Mhm.
that we have
Really?
already seen. We
Yeah,
have a
the worm
giant
and the
worm,
bird.
so we
Okay.
have a giant dragon or giant worm or whatever this is.
I,
Yeah.
That to me,
Yeah,
that's what those represents.
I kind of had
I
this stray
also-
thought that, like, what if at the end of the Second Age, Emu and their faction defeated all the other gods, and then they're now serving under Emu as the
Yeah.
Five Elders,
Well, one
or
Interesting.
maybe not literally the gods, but like representations of them or
I'm
something.
gonna
I don't
say
know.
I'm gonna push back on you because the Five Elders are not like are more demon, like a lower end demons from what I've seen from yokai. Like there are major like yokai demon, like I'm thinking in like D&D terms. There's like archdemons out there that you could be representing. There's one's just like a bird, you know, a bird with like 5 stances in like some in like some yokai book somewhere.
one
And the
thing I,
fact that Emu can just defeat one, like just kill it and then replace it, makes me think
Yeah.
that it's not.
one part of the mural that I think is interesting is that on the right half, when you see the people gathering what looks like a
Yeah.
starlight and could be fragments of the
Yes.
mother flame that they were able
I'm
to
so
get
curious
for
about
themselves.
that whole part.
Yeah.
There's
Mm.
19 of them exactly, which, given that there were 20 founders of the world and you have Emu there.
Oh shit! Oh
Nice.
shit! Oh my god! Nice catch! And the fucking guy who they're handing the light to has a big ass hat like Emu.
Yep.
Yes.
See, I didn't even notice the 19 people, but I was like noticing the Emu thing, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks like Emu.
That is such a good catch.
It's
Damn.
why and if you notice above, it almost looks like, well, besides the obvious Skypiea Arc Maxim thing, you could easily view that as like them in the ancient times using Uranus to fire lightning from the sky and destroy things.
Oh
All
my
of them
god!
gathering their fragments of the mother
Yeah.
flame that they slowly stole from the operating powers to become the new ones as they deify themselves.
This crazy. That's
Hmm.
crazy. You're crazy, man.
Could I
This-
give
Well,
you the
'cause-
craziest
'cause-
theory, though?
Oh yeah, go. I want to hear it.
All right, I'll be quick about this one. I always wondered where the red line came from, and one of my favorite theories that I had, because we know there are different groups of Skypeans, like from the Birkins, and there were like 3 major groups. And I swore in a few models we saw that there used to be more than one moon in certain images.
There's still
I-
moons. There's still more than one moon.
So
see.
that's not confirmed. It's possible that that's because the original geocentric model from like ancient times, like IRL,
Yes.
looked exactly like that, and all of
I
those things around it were just the other planets in the solar system. So we don't have any direct confirmation that there are multiple moons, but there very well could be, and that is kind of what people think, is that the different different like sky tribes might be just from different moons or something.
So because we know the Lunarians are called like they came down from the moon, one thing I'm wondering is, because it says like the god of the forest spread out the devils, what if the devil fruits were kind of this evening out factor that the humans invented to become able to match the powers of them? And what if the red line was them causing, like using the gravity fruit to bring a moon down and crashing it into the earth to create this giant landmass that they could then reshape with either the stone fruit or the island fruit to create and literally reshape the world in their image and bring the gods down, and thus claim the land of the gods for themselves by literally bringing it into earth. And that's why the water rose so high, because they literally brought down a moon's worth of land and slammed it into the earth's crust itself.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. I'm just so happy that Nami gets some representation in this mural too, right under the mermaid. Remember that's what Nami looked like when Luffy drew.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
Nami
Same
time
person.
traveler theory time.
Yeah, it's true. Nami's a time traveler. I spoke with Oda yesterday, and he was like saying, "Oh, I love time traveling Nami theory because that's what."
Naturally.
Yeah.
She gets
Kratos, were you
Toki's
about
fruit.
to say something?
Oh yeah, sorry. Only other thing I wanted to add as far as like the emu thing, because emus, like if you think of like emu being able to kind of like almost like dole out his powers to the Gorosei, like he could clearly
Right.
like that same thing kind of happened with like Luffy giving gear, like almost
Yes.
like like I see emu as like basically just like the yang to Luffy's yin, and that both of their powers are sort of whatever they can imagine, but just Luffy's imagination is for dreams and liberation and freedom, and emu's is for darkness and death, and so Luffy and Blackbeard, Joy Boy and Emu, they both want freedom. It's just that, Luffy, Joy Boy wants freedom for everybody. Emu, Blackbeard wants freedom only for themselves, which means like conquering and ruling and everything. So I definitely think these three like demonic images, they have the same eyes, they have the same teeth, they have, horns and stuff. I think whatever that power is, which we don't fully understand yet, that Emu has, I think that's all kind of that power that is the antithetical to the Nika power.
Yeah, it's
I like
crazy.
it.
Oda's an insane person.
Yes.
I love this.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to be set on this being like the first, like the Void Century. But I know when I first saw this image, I was thinking that the first, like the right hand side was the first age, and the second hand side was the second age.
I think I'm going to disagree with you on that, because the reason why I think the right hand side is the second age is because I don't think it's depicted here. The first age is because the world nobles were not even a fart in the wind when or Emu was a fart in the wind when the first age was around. Uranus was not a fart in the wind.
Well, to push back slightly on that, we're currently in the second age, because they said the third world.
No, we're in the third age. We're in the third age.
No, I thought we're in the second age, because they said the third. When they were talking about the third world, he's saying the third world is a prophecy. It's a vision of the future, because Saul said that beforehand.
This is a vision. Well, this is the future that is happening now. Like this would have been written. So the first age is the past. The second age is the okay. So
everything in the second. Everything in the second world has already happened.
Yeah.
Stuff in the third world is currently happening. Like
Exactly.
Luffy, Nika, the sun has been reborn.
Yeah.
The new dawn is currently breaking. So I think that's
it's like it's just beginning to be the third age.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure that the Harley was made in the second age. 100% sure. I don't know how
he says. Oh, okay. Well, I was just saying because he says that the mural was drawn during the Void Century.
Yes. So it's a depiction of current. I'm saying Second Age as in like we're talking about the present Void Century, as current events, as some guy just drawing something on the board. The Harley was 100% made in this Void Century, and I forgot what else I was going to say. Never mind.
So Pepperjack, you're saying your theory was that the right hand was first age, left hand was second. Is that right?
I mean, not necessarily theory. That was just my first assumption when I saw the image. But I don't know which one is correct. I mean, I'm with Lynn. I'm still like I haven't had time to digest everything that's on this page yet. So
Who's
it's all
Lynn?
just sort of up in the air.
Okay, I think Char said what you said about the 19 people giving the power or whatever to the one figure is like so on point.
It's crazy. You're a mad person.
No, it
Yeah, I
was
was thinking
brilliant.
about that too. It's just interesting seeing that flow of events of like people on the right.
The only thing that I have with that theory, because I mean it's amazing and I absolutely love that. But the only thing that I have with that is how would a kid in Elbaf know about it when the idea of having a one king is supposed to be this super secret that nobody knows?
Well,
So
they
it
just
was-
assume it's a kid. They don't
Because it
actually
was
know
like-
who made it.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
think
like
we should take her word for that. That it
Yeah.
was I think she was just making an assumption, like it's here, and she's like, probably just some kid's graffiti. But I think
it's some kids
I think
graffitied it
very
because it was
definitely
such a because it's
But then wouldn't Emu being or having a supreme king be a more known even a rumor that it's a thing, but nobody even assumed that was a rumor. Like
well, Elbaf is isolationist as well. You know,
Yes. They don't
Elvis
have
is-
too much cultural outreach.
Yeah, they
Mhm.
have, and Ripley assumes that a child made this because all the races are holding hands together and having fun and fighting one big evil demon, and that doesn't happen in this world. And honestly, 90% of the only reason like Elbat's culture is not more prevalent and this is not more known is because they're so isolationist. They haven't, and they've been warriors for years. Like again. King Harold the Horrible was like, hey, let's open things up and say, hey, let's all join hands together and do these things. You know, I don't trust as far as I can throw them though.
This is also a very Doylist thing where the mural is what it is because that's what Oda wants, and he would totally go, let me draw exactly 19 of these little things in here.
Exactly.
Create that little nod.
What do you guys think about like? I'm okay with the Void Century being very advanced, the Ancient Kingdom being very advanced. I'm not into the idea of, it's just modern day, you know? And this is of course, this is a post-apocalyptic story, but it's like, I don't want this to be like, it's just normal Earth or anything. I hope it's not.
I don't think Oda would be that boring because if
No,
Egghead is
I don't
anything
think
to
so.
go off of,
yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
this is actual Earth at all. I think
I
this
know.
is symbolisms.
I'm hoping. I've seen story, and I should be treating One Piece correctly like this, but I'm hoping that One Piece doesn't go that way.
Also, the small thing I like about the detail of the mural, I like how all the gears look like almost mini suns too.
Yeah.
And you have the two people working in the darkness underneath them, suns that don't give off any
Mhm.
light.
I didn't even see them. Oh my god, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Always
I
have
like the
people
right
working
hand.
in the city underbelly.
Oh my god, yeah, those guys are slaves, and I'm 100% sure one of those is Joy Boy. One of those two people is Joy Boy.
I like that the right hand side is the moon and the left hand side is the sun.
Mm.
The two halves.
I
But
want.
I like Charset's idea there, the mother thing, because you can really trace a path there with the like sparks of hope that the people are bringing, right? Because
Yeah.
it kind of looks like they're descending down on the right hand side of that like ladder thing. And they get little halos that they like descend down into something. Then they go back up with their hope, and then they get up to that platform. They raise it into the sky. You see it going up to the moon, and then it's like on the left hand.
Yeah.
Oh, did he freeze?
No.
Oh, are you mute?
Pepperjack, I think you froze.
Oh.
Oh.
Where
You
what
said
was the last thing?
You're going up to the moon, and then
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, yeah, it's going up to the moon on the right hand side, and then on the left hand side, that big demon with the sun is like calling it down from the sky. Is how I'm sort of seeing that imagery.
Oh,
One Piece
interesting.
is
Because
One
it's the
Piece
Interesting.
is
same sort of thing there. Same little spark of hope or little dreams that they're sending up, whatever that is.
I like it. The thing that I'm noticing about the little characters is that the ones up top are, as you said, raising them above their head, but then the ones down low are bowing as they're presenting it to Emu.
Yeah.
And that one character on the
Mm.
platform is presenting it to him straight. So it seems like there's some sort of difference between those that approach Emu from up high and those that are approaching him,
Mhm.
with more deference.
Mhm.
I also wonder if that's Zunesha he's on, because it almost looks like he's on the trunk of a massive elephant.
No, I see the oars there. There's oars.
Yeah, it does look like
True.
a ship to me, but you don't.
weird.
It could be both. It could represent both, because that's not a bad observation, because the tip of the ship does look like the elephant's trunk nose.
I have something to say also. Like, if you look below the arc, you see like originally the arc was like, oh, so the fishmen can go up to the sun. It was like all that stuff. There's two of the same animal, and then two people down there. So like proper Noah's Ark, not like just Fishman Noah's Ark, but like proper Noah's Ark. So I don't even know what that means.
So
That's a big flood because the world is now submerged practically. It's just
Mhm.
One thing I'm also
Um,
curious about, because I know Oda always likes to set up these tragedies and like build off what's come beforehand. Because if you scroll back up to the talk about the second world and the sea gods rampage and all of that, I'm curious if what happened was after whatever happened that caused the red line to form. I'm wondering if maybe the current, because you see that you can see clearly Poseidon, the mermaid princess of the time, was there fighting in the giant war.
Yeah.
What if, as everything flooded and they destroyed the normal place that the Sea Kings are, where they became like an international thing that were then around a bunch of people? What if they blamed the fishmen on that, and because she's the princess who can control them, after they destroyed all of that, like imagine the tragedy Oda would write if he had a character who was similar to Shirahoshi and having those values, but wasn't allowed to hold on to them because everyone in the world blames her for destroying it. Because they say that the people were in fear of the sea god's rampage. What if that's why there's so much discrimination against the fishmen?
Yeah.
They were the patsies for what the world government did, and they said it wasn't us that did that. It was these fishmen that sank the world to bring everyone to their level.
Yeah.
I like that.
I want to respond to Doran's thing. That 100% is the tree in the very center is either the Adam tree or the Devil Fruit tree. 100%.
I think it's the Adam tree, because we know that Elbaf has had wars fought over the years, and that Elbaf has been destroyed and then rebuilt around the tree again. So we can pretty much assume that this has been the focal point of, I think that the focal point of the Void Century War happened here.
I'm gonna say something else I really like. I like that everyone on Joy Boy's side is just like a little bit different. Just like a little bit strange. Like even if they're on the same boat, they have something different about them. And then on Emu, on big old scary Emu's side, everybody's wearing these night clothes. Pure white night clothes.
I was kind of wondering if it was Joy Boy's crew or if it was like a representation of each race.
I think both.
I think it's the representation of each race.
Yeah, I think because I was looking at different races too. Like, where are we? I was looking for the Buccaneers. It's the only one that I was trying to figure out which one could be.
Yeah,
it looks like there are two minks. There's one who's I think up in the one up top is like in Sulong form, and then there's one who's just like a normal mink.
The Buccaneers could be the two riding the whale.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, I know. I mean, Emmett's there. And Emmett and the Poseidon's there. Oh, first Poseidon's there. So I mean, it could be a representation of both.
This is a good point too. Frankie might be covering something. Sorry, Pepperjack. I feel like you keep trying to talk and you keep getting cut off.
No, I want to go back to the tree because I've just recently gone through Skypiea again, right? And there are so many parallels of what we know now with what happens in Skypiea. It's kind of mind blowing. It's like a microcosm of the series as a whole, and especially the Nolan flashback, right? And there's so many little hints of things that we know now, like the Shandians talking about the different gods, like the god of rain and the god of sun, and forest and earth, are probably the same gods we're reading about here. But one of the things about the tree specifically is that the Shandians have this belief that they have this sacred forest that houses their ancestors,
Mm-hmm.
and to guide the spirits to the forest, they ring this bell so that the spirits can find their way back. And I was thinking that, like, now that we know that devil fruits are hinted to be like wishes of people of the past, it just seems to like tie together with the idea that the devil fruits could be, that it could be the devil fruit tree, like that it could be the wishes of the people, that they carry into the future via this tree.
That's what you meant by wishes earlier.
Do we-
Okay, I get what you're saying.
And that along with the whole, like, biblical tie of, Eve having the forbidden fruit, the celestial dragons chose to, like, the Eve tree is above Fishman Island, and when we see Emu, he's in like a walled garden, right? Like, and we know the celestial dragons chose to build Mary Joie around the Eve tree. That is where they chose to plant their center of control in their palace. So there is some lore drop of the importance of the Eve tree that we have not got yet, that the celestial dragons clearly know. So I just feel like that has to be like a central part to all of this as well.
Do we want devil fruits to be magic or technology? Because I'm kind of going to magic. I really want them to be like these mythical things and not just like, oh, we just made it.
I think
Mhm.
they'll be like a mixture of both, where it's something,
I wouldn't
it's
mind both.
force that people tapped into but couldn't fully control, and then it slowly reshaped the world into where these dreams would become manifested. I think that would be like a nice, because Oda usually likes to have balance between it.
I mean, look at what Vegapunk has done. Like, a lot of the stuff that he has done, it could be thought of as magic, but it technically counts as science because there is an explanation and there is a way to, like, he can actually replicate it, right? So I do think that that's kind of the magic of One Piece, where it's like, it looks like magic, but it could be science in one way.
Right,
But
which
it's part of
isn't
science.
yes, which isn't a novel concept in fiction to merge the two.
Do we want to talk about the leprechaun?
Sorry?
The leprechaun.
Shamrock.
Yeah, Shamrock. Same thing.
Oh, right.
Yes.
That was part of this chapter too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's amazing how the mural kind of overshadows just.
Yeah, totally takes over this awesome action sequence.
Here's the best part about it. It's like this chapter like also destroys a theory as well. Do you know about the Cerberus theory, Murphy?
No.
Okay, so there was a theory going around that Blackbeard's original devil fruit was the Cerberus fruit.
Oh right, yes.
Yeah. So now that we have like, we're assuming that this is a devil fruit, by the way, not just some weird garbage happening.
I mean, I'm not assuming that.
Well, I'm assuming
wasn't labeled as a devil fruit.
True, but the vibe is like Oda doesn't reuse stuff. Oda doesn't reuse. He doesn't. Yeah, but so like that kind of removes it from Blackbeard. The weird thing is that it is not labeled as a devil fruit when it usually is, and the black. Another thing that's so weird is like you see like the black around it, like how zone type fruits like have that black around it, the shawl or something around it, and the evil guys usually have the black shawl around it, like Lucci, the Cerberus, like the elders, and Luffy is the only one so far that has like white around him. I mean, Kaido and even like Kaido and what's his name, Kaido and Yamato both have like sort of whitish shawls. Kaido's kind of turning black, but I don't know. but it's interesting. I don't know what the representation of the Shawl is. Is that like a thing? Is that just saying like, hey, these are good guys and these are bad guys?
Could I
You know?
point out a fun Kaido detail that people are picking up on now?
Mm.
Do it.
His attack was his Ragnarok attack was also subtitled "The Conquering of Three Worlds."
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting. Okay.
It's so
Man.
sad that Loki died too.
I was kind of wondering these three gods that we see, or I guess there's
Yeah.
four if you count Nika, but like
Mhm.
if it's like a god of the sea, of the land, and of the air, right? Or if it could
Forest,
be like
forest.
it could also be the god of the underworld, the god of like the land or the mortal plane, and the god of the heavens, right?
Yeah, this is not the first time we've heard of these gods too. Like Skypiea again, like
Mm-hmm.
has like
What
the
there's one difference. So Skypiea mentions god of the land, god of the forest, god of the sun, and god of the rain. This one mentions land, sun,
and sea.
forest, sea.
Mhm.
So there's a change from sea to rain between Skypiea and here.
There was a fun bit of speculation a few people had where they wondered if that change is just because the Skypeans came from above and didn't have as much land usually, they view water as just purely rain, while the people below viewed the god as, god of the sea.
For
Yeah.
that though, I would wait until we get the official translation
course.
just to see if they keep the names from the original or if they're changing the names too for this.
I mean,
yeah,
I'm
Because-
very curious what they're gonna do.
yeah, I don't think it
So
would
I-
be too much to have Oda change the names.
Yeah, so I'm just curious whether like they're using the same. 'Cause I actually don't know if it's the same kanji or if it's different kanji from back in Skypiea. So
or Oda
I'm
could
just
do
curious
another,
what that is.
or Oda could do another Laugh Tale and like make me an even bigger fan of him because he'll be like, oh, not instead of Raft Tail, it's Laugh Tale. Instead of the God of the Sea, like we
Yeah.
mispronounced it the entire time. I love that.
I'm actually on like I really want to find the original in Japanese, like without not the raw, but I want the actual text so that I can look into it. But I might
Yeah.
have just wait for
Raws
Arthur
were
to do
shared-
his video.
What are you
Raws were shared
circling?
earlier. I could try and look for them if you want.
Yeah, if you have the text, because honestly, like, just so that I can play with the kanjis a little.
What are you
Oh,
circling, Murphy?
Oh, just
Murphy.
interesting that the sail
Awesome.
on that ship has
Mhm.
the sun symbol on it.
Yeah, and Nika's shield has a sun
Yes.
symbol on it. Yeah,
Yes.
Which is also Alabasta's flag.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah, it is. Oh yeah, it is. Oh,
Good
yeah,
one,
it
Kratos.
is. Alabasta. I always call it Alabaster because I was a poor kid's kid when I was young.
Pepperjack,
Here,
I
I'm
feel like you
sharing
have
the
more
Raws
things
in
to
the
say.
spoiler chat.
Well, I just kind of wanted to mention the other little parallels that I've noticed from Skypiea.
Do it.
One of them is reverence of the earth, right?
Mhm.
That's
Yes.
in a land where almost no earth remains. It's like so valuable that it's worth more than gold.
Oh,
I feel like now that we know that the world is flooded, that's equally as
Mm.
applicable
Good one,
for
good
the rest
one,
of the
good
world.
one.
And there's also, of course, a huge theme of like gods and false gods and all that stuff.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
that's very apropos to the
Definitely.
whole series.
Skypiea.
But then there's also a huge theme, especially in the Nolan flashback, of technology versus tradition.
Mm.
Mm,
And I think that's also going to be a huge thing in the overarching story, because we now
Good
know
one.
that like the world used to be more technologically advanced, and now it isn't.
Yes.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to draw from that arc. I tell you, it's very much
Um,
worth a reread.
I love how we
I'm
see
still-
one panel and we all scream like crazy people. I love it. I love it.
Listen,
Why-
Perfect.
I've been following this series for 17 years now,
Mm-hmm.
and
Same here.
I still remember when I was catching up weekly, and I read Skypiea, and that was when the first theories came out of the Great Flood for that arc, purely because people noticed the sea level was different in the Nolan flashback versus when we see it in the modern day.
Yes.
And people noticing how Nolan and Robin both commented on, why is this city so far below ground? Why did they build this so far below? This doesn't make sense. And I remember just I was in high school and I was going, he didn't think that far ahead. Come on. Don't
He's
be
a
stupid.
madman.
You're overthinking. And then here I come, like over the following years, just more and more things and being stubborn. And then like the last 5 years, just going, Oh shit, he really has thought that far ahead.
No, this panel, honestly, for me, like, this has been the first time in a while that the magnitude of this series is prevalent again, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
this actually, when we get to the end, it actually is going to be a masterpiece. It
Yeah.
actually is
Yeah.
all going to tie together so perfectly that we're all going to sit back and go, wow,
One
it was
Piece.
all, it all works together.
I'm so excited for the Void Century flashback, and I
I'm
was
so excited for the last panel of One Piece.
yes.
Yeah.
God knows how
Which-
that's gonna be.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of what you were talking about, Kratos, too. Like, looking at this mural, it's like it's all here. It's all connected. It's all going to tie back together.
It's One Piece is not perfect, but
I wouldn't
goddamn.
I wouldn't put it past Oda that he's literally giving us, like, explicitly giving us the history of the Void Century in
Yeah.
this mural and in this poem. And we're just gonna be theorizing for it, and we're gonna be missing so many details. And then in the flashback, it's gonna be like, "Oh, that's what
Yeah.
that meant." Like,
Yeah.
he just gave it. He just gave us the answer, and he's laughing at us.
He's laughing at
We're
us.
just not, because we know we're not gonna get everything.
Yeah.
Also, if those figures are to scale, given the ancient giant there, I'm really interested to see what kind of thing caused the two giant swords to be almost like someone was trying to hack down Yggdrasil and Elbaf with that giant sword.
Yeah.
And then also the giant sword that was stuck in the skull next to the ancient giant in Onigashima.
Mm.
Good one. Good
Maybe
one.
we are gonna meet giants that are like the shadows in the sky from Jaya, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, the shadows in the sky from Jaya was just like sun reflecting.
Yeah, I mean it was
Um,
explained, but like
yeah.
maybe they also did exist at one point.
Maybe the
They
ones in
actually were
Thriller
giants.
Bark are the only remaining giants that have to stay hidden.
Yeah.
There something what existed at some point to be big enough to be referred to as a continent puller.
Yes.
And if Zunisha is that big, I think we can assume that some other entity could be that big also.
Good one,
Something
Kratos.
to swing the giant sword.
One Piece is crazy. I like One Piece is not perfect at all, but there's like some things when you just reread it, rewatch it, and do all that stuff. It's just like, oh, this is the fucking best thing I've ever seen in my entire life. You know, it's not perfect, but goddamn, is it not my favorite story of all time? Like, it's
Yeah,
top 3.
there's just very little that matches this like level of scope and detail and the joy when you dive into the weeds and just get rewarded for
Yeah, and it's funny too.
Yes.
It makes me laugh.
I like that he gives it such a flair of mythology too. It isn't just dry history or anything. It's
Yeah.
That's so true.
stories.
It's not like
He
going
is-
through a dozen visions back to back to back in like this timeless. Never mind. Sorry, different series.
Yeah.
Most of you won't get that. You guys get it. Kratos and Kiyotari, you understand.
This is literally
Right over my head.
like in Lord of the Rings where Tolkien.
No, I'm
decides to
talking about Wind and Truth. Sorry.
Oh no! But I was doing a separate thing about how like sometimes Tolkien just decides to like start going into poetry to describe like his.
Okay, but when Lord of the Rings does it, it's epic. When Anderson does it, it's boring and dry.
The other thing is
How
the
dare you,
wording.
Kratos? Be how dare you have an opinion versus versus our overlord? She's gonna kill you now.
No, your point was really good, Kratos.
Yeah.
It is like Lord of the Rings when you go into poetry. That's literally what's
Yeah.
happening. It's like the perfect parallel. I was just being bitter.
I always love when like a writer can nail that feeling of like writing religious text where it feels like something massive or people trying to understand.
Yeah, like this indecipherability that causes people to divide over the translation or the.
I love it. You don't know how. Again, I repeated this when we first like read this chapter, but like you don't know how much I love Raftail Laugh-Tale difference. You know how it's just like nobody understood that. Oh, Raftail is just a mispronunciation of somebody misheard Roger and says, "Oh, it's Raftail." Okay, not Laugh-Tail. Crazy.
She just said it earlier, but I also just like that it's a moment for Frankie too. Like,
Yeah.
way to go, Frankie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
See,
love
it's
how
one of our
quiet it is.
cherished like full double spread panels, right?
Right.
Want me to share the funniest agenda theory I saw with Frankie in the middle there?
Mhm.
Hmm.
In the right, you clearly have, Uranus shooting fire and lightning down from the sky. On the left, you have the mermaid princess with probably a representation of the giant beast with Poseidon there. So some people are going, well, where's Pluton? We still don't see Pluton. And some people are going, Frankie in the
standing-
middle there
Mhm.
being the missing third one who's
Oh,
going to
shit!
Very good.
That'd be
Very good.
awesome.
or become the
Oh.
giant mech. You know, everyone has that fun theory of how it's going to
I-
turn Sunny into a giant mech.
I want Frankie to turn into a giant mech. You have no clue. No
That is
clue.
He has to.
crazy.
I've
especially
never
after
heard that
Egghead.
theory. Yeah, especially
Hey,
after
what's
Egghead.
this little thing right here by the mermaid?
That's a tontata.
That's Tontata.
Right.
Mhm.
Got it. Got it.
I need a One Piece Silmarillion. I need one.
I think there will be one.
I think when we get to the Void Century flashback, that thing's going to be massive. It's going to be the biggest flashback of the whole series.
Yeah, I don't
There's
care.
at least 4,000 years of history that
Alabasta. Tell me about.
Alabasta is the oldest confirmed,
Mhm.
place that they talk about how old stuff is. So
And we know that there was something massive enough to rechange when they started measuring time, because we're in what, the 1500s, the 1600s right
Yeah,
now.
we're in the 1500s. I think 14, if I remember.
Yeah,
I
there's
don't
like
know.
2 calendars in the
Yep.
series.
Yeah.
So when you think about whatever caused it, because we know that there are things older than when that started, when they started counting times, obviously, but also something massive enough happened where they rechanged the calendar, and it happened about 600 years before the Void Century happened, and we don't have any idea
Mhm.
what that thing is.
Mm,
I assume it's the Lunarians coming down, but that's just my assumption.
There's
Yeah.
the Age of the Sea Circle and the Age of Heaven. Those are the
Mhm.
calendars. Age of Heaven is, I think, I'm assuming Celestial Dragon bullshit. And Age of the Sea Circle, I'm assuming, is like normal Void Century shit. But yeah, we are in year. What year are we in? Oh god, I'm trying to look it up. Oh my god, it's so big. It's so goddamn big. Never mind. I'll post it later once I find it.
I like that one of the
No.
boats is clearly Wano. It's like a little samurai guy with the top knot,
Yeah.
and then like a ninja star on the person.
Yeah!
next to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Ninjas are cool, dude.
No, Tissine is actually not doing an art piece this week. She's busy with work, but I messaged Chirag, who
Okay.
fills in for her, and he said that he was going to depict the final panel when I messaged him.
Ooh.
So he's going to do it.
Whoa.
Okay, the calendar used by the Age of Sea Circle is the calendar used by Mont Blanc Noland in logbook around 400 years ago, dated in the year 1120, using Noland's logbook as a guidebook. It is possible to be worked out that the current storyline of One Piece takes place in the 16th century within the Sea Circle calendar, based on the exact dates given by Nolan. The month-day division in the calendar appears to match the Georgian calendar. And the Age of Heaven, this calendar is used by Nico Robin, pretended to recite the history of Alabasta from the poneglyph in the Tomb of Kings. In reality, the poneglyph held information of Poseidon. Due to the circumstances, unclear whether the information she provided was accurate. It is unknown how months and days were divided, blah, blah, blah. So that's
The Nolan flashback is one of the only times we've actually gotten a year and like an actual date.
Yeah. So like it's
Keeps
probably
coming back to him,
Yeah.
I
No
think-
one's crazy.
I still feel like we're gonna get the reveal that Jarl, the giant, met Noland because he's 400 years old.
Mm-hmm. He got stabbed in the head.
Ooh, I like
Mhm.
that.
I'm so happy that his helmet saved his life.
I love that gag.
It's such a good
Never gets
gag.
old.
It's just like nobody fucking talks about it. It's just like no.
You're going to see the giant sword that's like lodged in Elbaf. It's going to start toppling, and then it will just stop because his helmet blocked it from falling.
Yeah. I'm in that theory where somebody's gonna take the sword out of his head and he's gonna like, oh, Loki was a good guy and the Herald was an evil guy, and like that's what happened. I just forgot because I have a sword in my brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, Herald is 100% evil, by the way. Can tell. He was like celestial dragons. Oh, the celestial dragons are probably the best in the world for the guy. I'm feeling that.
Well, guys, now that we have the mural out of the way, we can finally sit down and have a long talk about this Who's Who and Yamato cover story.
Oh my god, I hate it. I hate
Mods, ban Pepperjack.
You don't know. I was a
Half my mods are here.
big Yamato fan. You have no clue. I love Yamato. I loved Yamato so much. I thought he was so funny. I thought he was like the little brother that Luffy could have like overtaken. You know, perfect match for the crew. Pissed off. Oh, man. I'm not going to join the crew because I have to watch a grown man-child.
Yeah, instead we get one of the most boring cover stories.
My eyes are rolling in the back of my head.
It's insane because Pepperjack and I literally predicted that the next cover story was going to be Yamato. We talked about it. We said it's going to be Yamato, and we're going to get the Odin troubles or whatever, and that's what we thought it was going to be. But we thought it was going to be like more
interesting.
Yeah.
It's gotta, because with the last cover story, it ties back into the main plot when like Aokiji goes to Whole Cake and they bring Pudding back.
Exactly.
So Murphy, did you hear about the Kaido theory and his relation to King Harold?
No.
Because King Harold, his facial features and stuff, right. And so this Yamato cover story is going to end with Big Mom and Kaido coming back, and then they're all going to go to Elbaf, and that's how it's going to tie. So we need to, we need to tread water until Elbaf gets far enough that they need to come back, and then the cover story is going to get good. Because I literally think that's what's happening is Oda has a plan for the cover story to tie back into the main story, but he just needs to kind of tread water until he can make those points line up well.
Listen, you gotta understand, every time Who's Who appears on screen, you're either getting racism or a big lore drop. It's only one of those two things.
He only serves two purposes.
Well, Junko's not wearing pants. What else is there? Is there anything else interesting in this chapter?
This has been our longest chapter stream, and we have talked about one panel the entire.
It's kind of one of the craziest. First off, only the second full-page spread that we've gotten since the end of Dressrosa, and it's one of the craziest of the entire series.
This is the craziest panel we've had in I have no idea how long.
How crazy is that?
Yeah.
But it is my responsibility, Murphy, as your friend, to call you out earlier in the chat because we were all like typing the sword is the sword is the Cerberus, and it was just hilarious because like all of the comments were the sword is Cerberus. And then you just kept reading. And it's one of those times where like sometimes it's like just keep reading and while you're engaging with the chat, and it was the exact opposite of no, come look at the chat.
I also really like the detail that Shanks does know about and went up there for a bit but refused it. I think it adds a lot more weight to the decision and his history that he did have that opportunity to come back but didn't want it.
Yeah. Also, Scopper Gibbon. I'm pretty sure it's Scopper, right? Like
he's going to be the character with an eye patch. I feel because
no, I don't want him to be a character with the eye patch. He's a nothing character so far. You know,
I'm in the Scopper Gibbon camp too, but I don't know how much of that is wishful thinking because I just want to see him again.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at all the Roger Pirates, the Roger Pirate. Pirates.
He dual wields axes, dude.
Yeah,
there's no way that Scopper Gibbon is not going to show up in the story at some point. He has never been depicted in the modern story. Never heard about him, and now suddenly we're talking about Roger Pirates, and the next panel we have the silhouette of somebody walking up. It's
the only. We're all gonna feel silly when it's Axe Hand Morgan's next week.
Yeah, it's Axe Hand Morgan. I can't believe he's back. The only character that I think could be Scopper instead of Scopper would be like fucking Millet Pine, the dwarf guy. You remember? You don't know Millet Pine? He's one of the best. He looks like Senshi.
Frosty solved it. It's the bear.
It's the bear.
It's the bear.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
what it is.
I don't think it can be anybody else but Scopper.
Yeah,
I don't think it'd be anybody with the bear.
I think
Peterman.
usually they have like a member of the Roger Pirates at each like major kind of checkpoint of the story.
Mhm.
And I do think that we're still like I think One Piece is going on for like another 10 years at least. Given
I
I
love
know
that.
you're laughing, but
No, I agree. I find that funny because I
'Cause since
totally
it's-
agree.
it's definitely a 5-act story. We have the prologue with the first 100 chapters ending at Log Town. Act 1 is roughly 560 chapters, and it goes from 101 to the end of Marineford 597, and then Act 2 is obviously Return to Sabaody all the way through Wano, which was again like another. All the acts are either like 500 chapters or 450-ish. So given that rate, I think we have the third act, which we're only 80 into, and then we have at least a hefty epilogue. I feel is for sure guaranteed for it.
I really like Ripley's design a lot. I don't know. I'm just looking at her and I'm just like, oh.
I love her just holding Frankie up like an action figure.
Yeah,
really
she's Frankie. Ah!
I've been loving
All
a lot
right.
of small Frankie moments. Frankie literally just going, "Damn, that's a big tree with Jimbei." That was hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, we've gotten more Frankie moments so far in Elbaf than we did in Egghead.
It's upsetting. Yeah.
Okay.
True.
What? What do you want?
Murphy has life responsibilities.
Yes.
Well, I just want more tiki masala. I'm gonna heat it up and eat it, and then look at dishwasher.
Yeah.
What are we going to rate this chapter?
10 out of 10.
If there's ever been a 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we've
this has
talked
to be
about this chapter for an hour and 30
Well,
minutes.
then we talked about this panel.
This
Even
panel.
outside
Yeah,
the
you're right. You're right.
panel,
You're the panel. And
I
it's
love
like,
everything else in there. The
yeah.
Loki stuff was raw. It was a brutal sequence. I love the
Mhm.
planning on how they're planning to just take over Elbaf and not just being cocky idiots about. They're just like going, let's just bring another person, kidnap the children. We're going to take this place by force no matter what we have to do.
Yeah.
And then I also really like all of the crew interactions with the guards there. Just
Yeah, and
Not
the paneling's not that. And like honestly, like I am usually during like chapters like this, Otis paneling is not like good. It's usually just a lot of wordiness. But I don't know. I like the paneling a lot of this. chapter.
Elbaf's been paneled really well.
Yeah.
I really feel like he's been waiting to get here for a while, and I feel like the paneling has returned to more of a pre-time skip. There's a lot less density, but there's still a lot happening
Yeah.
Yeah.
because there's been a lot more like very impactful spreads in the sense of like not just spreads to like cram a lot of stuff in and get
Yeah.
the information there and do. There's been a lot of like wondrous spreads, lots of like sprawling vistas mixed with the celebrations.
Yeah.
And
I just wish Kuma could see this.
yeah,
He would have a great time if he was still alive.
Well, it is a 10 out of 10 for me as well. I am so glad that y'all. Lynn was the one that suggested that we make this a Patreon join stream. I'm
Yeah.
so glad that y'all joined me. This has been a great discussion. Awesome to see you all again. Thank you for processing this chapter with me.
It's a
I
lot.
had to be
It's a
on
lot.
one of the few
is
weeks
gonna
I
be-
can actually join one of these, and it's for this chapter.
I
This is
know
the-
it worked out perfectly, and
This is gonna
your
be-
series were awesome.
This is gonna be your first hour-long video on One Piece in like a half a year or something.
I'll leave that
Great.
to second. Well,
Yeah.
maybe
Oh, and-
30 minutes.
Murphy, because you have the whale there, you can put more points towards the laboon theory and stuff, because the island whales, inherited the migratory patterns.
Charizard, I don't even remember my Laboon theory. Maybe I'll
Just that all of the island whales were ramming their heads because whales inherit the migratory patterns through the generations. So laboon was kind of a cover-up of giving a reason so that we don't think about when they enter, like start a punk hazard. Why are all of the other island whales, laboon's flock, why do all of them have scars on their forehead too? And it's likely because the red line isn't natural, and so they keep having an urge to ram against it because their migratory patterns keep telling them to try and reunite them and go on the migratory path that they're.
I don't mean to barge on that, but I don't think that's Murphy's theory. I thought Murphy's theory was one day Luffy's gonna kill all the whales and take their blubber and form a blubber monster.
That does sound like me too.
Yeah.
It's one of those two.
It was just one of the side details on one of your Brooke Laboon videos when you were analyzing them.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah,
You're smarter than you
Sounds
remember.
great.
She doesn't remember. Yeah, you're a buffoon.
Yes. All right. Well, on that note, thank you for joining me, guys. And I
Pleasure.
will see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Pleasure as
having us.
always.
next week.
Yeah.
Thank you guys.